I tried the 369 method for 21 days straight. Nothing happened. Not a single shift, not a flicker of movement towards what I was trying to manifest. I was sitting there with my notebook, my hand cramping from all that writing, feeling more frustrated and confused than ever. I was ready to give up, to call the whole law of attraction thing a nice idea, but ultimately fake. A pretty lie for people who just got lucky, but something in me wouldn't let it go. I had this stubborn feeling that there was a piece of the puzzle I was missing, so I went digging. I read everything I could find, not just the quick social media posts, but the deeper teachings. I talked to people who had gotten it to work, and I realized with this huge wave of both embarrassment and relief that I wasn't doing it wrong. I was doing it perfectly wrong. I was following the letter of the law, but completely missing the spirit. And once I discovered the 5 critical mistakes I was making, and I fixed them, everything changed. In just 7 days of doing it the right way, I manifested something specific I'd been trying to get for months. It was like the universe finally heard me because I'd learned how to actually speak its language. So if you've tried the 369 method and it feels like you're just writing into a void, if you're frustrated and wondering what you're doing wrong, I'm here to tell you, you're not broken. The method isn't broken, but I can almost guarantee you're making at least one of these 5 critical mistakes. And today, I'm going to walk you through every single one of them, exactly how I was messing up and exactly how to fix it. Let me properly introduce myself. I'm Luna, and welcome to my channel, where we talk about manifesting a life that feels like magic, but with practical, grounded steps. I need to tell you my story with the 369 method, because it's probably a lot like yours. When I first heard about it, it sounded like the secret key. So simple. Write your desire 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. For 9 days or 21 days, depending on who you ask. I was desperate for a change. I was in a job that was draining my soul. My bank account was perpetually hovering near zero, and I just felt stuck. So I picked up a fresh, beautiful notebook. I thought maybe the aesthetics mattered. Nien chose my affirmation, Mummyism. Why I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a new, fulfilling job that pays me abundantly. I committed. I set alarms on my phone for 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 10 p.m. Every day, I'd open that notebook and I'd write 3 times, with focus in the morning, 6 times, sometimes rushed during my lunch break. 9 times at night, often when I was already sleepy. I did this for 21 days straight. Well, almost straight. I'll get to that. And each day I'd wake up hoping to see some sign. An email, a call, a new job listing that seemed perfect. And each day, nothing. The same inbox, the same bank balance, the same feeling of dread on Sunday nights. By day 21, I was devastated. I'd put in all this work, all this faith, and for what? I felt silly. I felt lied to. I threw the notebook in a drawer and tried to forget about it. I decided maybe manifestation just wasn't for me. But a little voice kept nagging. What if it was me? What if I missed something? So after a couple weeks of licking my wounds, I started researching not just how to do 369, but why it works. The principles behind it. And that's when I had my "oh my God" moment. I saw every single error I'd made, clear as day. It wasn't about the writing. It was about everything around the writing. The energy, the focus, the feeling. I decided to try one more time, but this time, I was going to fix every single mistake. I adjusted my approach completely. And friends, the shift was not subtle. Within a week of the new correct method, I was contacted by a client for a project that paid me exactly the amount of money I'd written down, an amount I'd never charged before. Opportunities started lining up in a way that felt, honestly, spooky. It worked because I finally understood what I was actually doing, and I'm going to share that entire journey with you, so you don't have to spend weeks feeling as lost and discouraged as I did. So, why does the 369 method fail for so many people? It's because we're taught the formula but not the foundation. We're taught the what but not the why. And when you're just going through the motions without understanding the mechanics, it's like trying to drive a car by only knowing you have to turn the steering wheel. You might move, but you'll probably crash or at least get hopelessly lost. The 369 method is a powerful tool because it uses repetition, rhythm, and consistency to drill a new belief into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the real powerhouse of manifestation. It's the part of you that runs your habits, your deep-seated beliefs, your automatic thoughts, and your current reality is basically a printout of your subconscious beliefs. The 369, when done correctly, is a way to send a new, clear, powerful command to that inner powerhouse. But if you send that command with static, with conflicting emotions, with the wrong frequency, it's like sending a radio signal with a broken transmitter. The message doesn't get through cleanly. Or, worse, you send the opposite message. Most of us approach 369 from a place of lack. Aversion. We want something we don't have. So the whole process is infused with the energy of I don't have this. And the universe, which is essentially a mirror, reflects back that feeling of a not having. It's not being mean, it's just being accurate. It's giving you more of the emotional state you're in. So the small mistakes, writing from a place of desperation, using vague words, skipping days, writing robotically, and obsessively checking for results, these aren't just minor slip-ups. They completely override the intended effect of the method. They reinforce the old story of lack instead of installing the new story of abundance. Understanding this changed everything for me. It moved me from blindly following steps to consciously creating an experience. And that's when the magic started. So let's dive into the first and biggest mistake I was making, the one that underpins all the others. Mistake number 1, writing from the wrong emotional state. This was my granddaddy of all errors. I remember so clearly sitting at my desk in the morning, looking at my bills, feeling that tight knot of anxiety in my stomach, and then opening my notebook to write, I am so happy and grateful now that I have abundant money. The contradiction was painful. I was not happy. I was not grateful in that moment. I was stressed and scared. I was writing about having abundance while feeling deep, visceral lack. And that feeling of lack was 1,000 times more powerful than the words I was scribbling down. The law of attraction isn't responding to your words. It's responding to your vibrational frequency, your feeling state. You are a broadcasting tower, and your feelings are the signal. If you're broadcasting a fear, lack, desperation on channel despair, but you're whispering the words abundance and joy, the universe is going to tune into the stronger signal, which is the despair, every single time. My first attempt was essentially me affirming my lack over and over again, 9 times a day. No wonder nothing changed. The fix wasn't to just feel happy on command. That's impossible when you're in a panic. The fix was to change my approach before I ever picked up the pen. I created a pre-writing ritual. I couldn't just jump from my frantic, worried mind into a state of already having it. I needed a bridge, so for 5 minutes before my 369 writing sessions, I would do this. I'd close my eyes, put my hand on my heart, and take 3 deep, slow breaths. Then I would think of one thing in my current life that I was genuinely, truly grateful for. Not related to my desire. Something simple, the smell of my coffee, the softness of my sweater. The sun coming through the window. I would soak in that feeling of gratitude for a full minute. Gratitude is a powerful frequency shifter. It instantly moves you from lack to appreciation. Then I would think of a time in my past when I had received something I wanted. Maybe it was a gift, a compliment, a surprise opportunity. I'd relive that memory and tap into the feeling of receiving it. The joy, the excitement, the relief. I'd let that feeling wash over me. Now I was in a receptive, open, positive state. Now my internal broadcast was closer to a channel of a good things happen to me, and only then, with that feeling still humming in my chest, would I pick up my pen and write my affirmation. The words were the same, but the energy behind them was completely different. I was no longer writing a plea. I was writing a fact from a place of already feeling it. The first time I did this, I actually cried. Because for the first time, writing I have a job I love didn't feel like a lie. It felt like a promise I was making to myself from a place of knowing, not wanting. That shift in emotional state is non-negotiable. It's the difference between planting a seed in barren, rocky soil versus planting it in rich, fertile earth. The seed is the same, but the environment determines whether it grows. Mistake number 2, using vague or negatively phrased wording. This one is so sneaky because you think you're being positive, but your language is secretly undermining you. In my first attempt, my affirmation was, I am so happy and grateful now that I have a new fulfilling job that pays me abundantly. Seems okay, right? But let's break it down. A new job. What does that mean? A new job at the same company? A completely different career? Fulfilling is a feeling which is good, but it's not specific. Pays me abundantly is the worst offender. What is abundantly? To someone with $1 million, abundance is 10 million. To me, at the time, abundance was being able to pay my rent without anxiety. The universe deals in specifics. Source the feast. Vague orders get vague results. It's like going to a restaurant and saying, oh, bring me some good food. You might get something, but it probably won't be the steak you were secretly dreaming of. The other part of this mistake is negative wording. I see this all the time. People write things like, I am no longer broke. I am free of debt. I don't have a stressful job anymore. Your subconscious mind doesn't really process negatives like a no, a not, or a free of. It latches onto the key words. So when you write, I am no longer broke, your subconscious hears I am broke. When you write, I am free of debt, it hears a debt. You are accidentally reinforcing the very thing you want to move away from. In my second, successful attempt, I completely rewrote my affirmation. I got crystal clear. Chris. Instead of a new, fulfilling job, I wrote, I am so happy and grateful now that I work as a freelance content creator for inspiring brands from my peaceful home office, earning $5,000 per project with ease and joy. Do you feel the difference? It's a full sensory experience. You can picture it. You can picture it. You can feel the peace of the home office, the ease of the work, the joy of the payment hitting your account. It's specific, it's in the present tense. I work, not I will work, and it's positively framed. I'm stating what I am, not what I'm not. Here's another example. Let's say you want a loving relationship. A vague negative statement would be, I am not lonely anymore. I want a boyfriend who doesn't play games. The refined, powerful version would be, I am so happy and grateful now that I am in a committed, joyful relationship with a kind, communicative man who loves and respects me, and we enjoy deep conversations and laughter every day. C. The first one focuses on the absence of loneliness and bad behavior. The second one creates the presence of love, joy, and specific, positive qualities. You have to become the scriptwriter of your new reality. Write the script with vivid, present tense, positive detail. The universe will deliver the scene you describe, so describe it well. Don't just ask for a car. Ask for the make, the model, the color, the feeling of the leather seats, the sound of the engine. The more real you can make it in your words, the more real it will become in your life. Mistake number 3, skipping days or being inconsistent with timing. Oh, I am so guilty of this. In my first 21-day attempt, I did not have a perfect streak. On day 4, I was running late for work and skipped the morning writing. I'll just do extra later, I thought. On day 7, I was out with friends and completely forgot the evening 9. On day 12, I was just so demotivated that I didn't do any of them. I thought, what's the point? It's not working anyway. And I believed that as long as I did most of the days, it would be fine. I was wrong. Dead wrong. The power of the 369 method is deeply tied to its rhythm and consistency. It's not just about the total number of times you write something. It's about the unbroken, habitual reprogramming of your subconscious. Think of it like taking antibiotics. The doctor says take them every 8 hours for 10 days. If you skip doses or take them at random times, the treatment is less effective and the infection might not clear. Your subconscious infection of lack-based beliefs requires a consistent, disciplined treatment to clear it out. When you miss a session, you break the chain. You allow the old thought patterns to re-solidify. You're telling your subconscious, this new idea isn't that important. It's optional, and it will treat it as such. The timing matters too. The classic structure, 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, 9 at night, isn't arbitrary. It's designed to bookend your day and keep the desire at the forefront of your mind. Morning sets the tone. Afternoon reinforces it. Nighttime lets it sink into your subconscious as you sleep. When you do them at random times, 3 times at 11 a.m., 6 times at 4 p.m., 9 times at midnight one day, and then all bunched up the next, you lose that rhythmic, intentional structure. It becomes chaotic, and the signal gets muddy. For my successful attempt, I became a militant about this. I set my alarms again, but this time I protected those times like sacred appointments. 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 10 p.m. No excuses. If I was in the middle of something, I'd excuse myself for 5 minutes. I prepared my pre-writing ritual so I could shift quickly. This consistency did 2 things. First, it built a powerful habit loop in my brain. My mind started to anticipate and prepare for these moments of creation. Second, it sent an unwavering command to the universe. This is a priority. I am committed. I am showing up for my desire without fail. That level of commitment changes you. It builds faith from the inside out. If you've been skipping days or writing whenever you remember, I urge you, start a fresh 21-day cycle. Commit to it unbroken. See it as a sacred contract with yourself. The difference it makes in the clarity and power of your manifestation is profound. Mistake number 4, writing mechanically without visualization or feeling. This is where I was just going through the motions. In my first attempt, especially by the second week, it was a chore. Gotta do my 6 times. I'd scribble the sentence 6 times in a row while thinking about my grocery list, or an argument I had, or what I was going to watch on TV later. My hand was moving, but my mind and heart were elsewhere. That's not manifestation. That's calligraphy practice. It's empty. The writing is merely the anchor, the physical action. The magic happens in the mind and heart during that action. If you're not engaging your imagination and your emotions, you're leaving the power on the table. Every single time you write your affirmation, it should be a mini meditation, a full sensory visualization session. When I fixed this, here's what a single writing session looked like. Let's use my specific $5,000 project affirmation. After my pre-writing gratitude ritual, I'd hold my pen, close my eyes for a moment, and see it. I wouldn't just write and earn $5,000 per project. I would visualize opening my laptop and seeing the email from a dream client. I'd feel the click of the mouse, see their logo in the signature. I'd read the words, "We'd love to work with you. Our budget is $5,000. I'd feel the surge of excitement in my chest. Then, as I wrote the words the first time, I'd feel that excitement. I'd see myself working on the project, not stressed, but in a state of flow, enjoying the creative process. As I wrote the second time, I'd imagine the project being completed, the client's glowing feedback. The third time, I'd visualize the invoice being sent. The fourth time, I'd see the bank notification on my phone, a plus $5,000. I'd feel the weight of my phone in my hand, see the screen light up. I'd feel the relief, the pride, the joy. I'd engage every sense. What does it feel like to have that money? Security, freedom, choice. What do I hear? Maybe the sound of a deep, grateful sigh or the celebratory music I'd play. I'd make it real. So each of the 3, 6, or 9 repetitions wasn't a mindless copy. Each one was a deepening of the same vivid scene, adding layers of feeling. This transforms the activity from a repetitive task into a neural pathway building exercise. You're not just telling your brain a new story, you're letting it experience the new story. This is how you generate the MF that everyone talks about. You don't force yourself to believe. You create such a compelling, felt experience that belief becomes the natural byproduct. If you've been rushing through your 369 writing, please slow down. Give each repetition the gift of your full attention for just 30 seconds. 5 minutes of fully engaged, felt writing is infinitely more powerful than 30 seconds of robotic scribbling. Mistake number 5, not letting go and instead obsessively checking for results. This is the great paradox of manifestation, and I was the queen of failing it. I would do my beautiful morning writing, feel great, and then within an hour, I'd be checking my email frantically, scrolling job sites, or looking at my bank app. I was living in a state of anxious anticipation. This is the energy of lack. It's the energy of, it's not here yet, where is it? It completely cancels out the already having it feeling you just cultivated. It's like planting a seed and digging it up every hour to see if it's grown yet. You kill the very process you're trying to start. The universe operates on trust. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care anymore. It means you've placed your order with full faith that it's being prepared. You don't stand in the kitchen of the restaurant, staring at the chef, demanding to know when your food will be ready. You sit at your table, enjoying your drink, trusting it's coming. My obsession was a sign of deep distrust. I didn't believe it would happen, so I felt I had to constantly monitor and control the situation. The fix for this was the hardest, but most liberating part. After each 369 session, I developed a release phrase. I would say either out loud or in my mind, "It is done. I trust this is working out for my highest good. I release this to the universe to arrange the perfect details," and then I would deliberately redirect my thoughts. When the urge to check my email for opportunities arose, I'd say, "Thank you, universe, for already handling this," and I'd go do something else, take a walk, call a friend, work on a different project. I stopped looking for the manifestation in the specific way I expected it. I practiced radical trust, and this is the secret. Detachment speeds everything up. When you are attached and desperate, you emit a frequency of scarcity, which pushes your desire away. When you are detached and trusting, you emit a frequency of faith and abundance, which draws it in. The moment I truly let go of the $5,000 project, not in a giving up way, but in a "I know it's mine. It's coming, it's coming. I don't need to stress about the how or when way," was the moment the client reached out. It was within 48 hours of that internal shift. They found me through an old post I'd completely forgotten about. The path of least resistance opened the second I stopped pushing and started allowing. So what does the correct mistake-free 369 method look like? Let me walk you through my exact daily routine, the one that finally worked. First, choose a specific, positive, present tense affirmation. Example: I am so happy and grateful now that I live in my beautiful, light-filled apartment by the beach, feeling peace every morning. Day 1 to 21. Every day unbroken. Morning around 8 a.m. Find a quiet space. Do your pre-writing ritual. 3 deep breaths. 1 minute of genuine gratitude for something simple. Recall a memory of receiving. Feel that good feeling. Now take your pen and paper. As you write your affirmation 3 times, visualize it vividly. See the sunlight on your floor. Smell the salt air. Feel the peace. Immerse yourself. After writing, say your release phrase. "It is done. I trust. I let go." Then go about your day. Afternoon, around 2 p.m., do not just repeat mechanically. Recenter. Take a moment, close your eyes, reconnect with the feeling of your morning visualization. Then write your affirmation 6 times. With each repetition, deepen the scene. Maybe on the 4th write, imagine inviting friends over to this apartment. On the 6th, imagine waking up there feeling utterly at home. Engage the senses. Finish with your release phrase. Evening, around 10 p.m. before bed. This is the most powerful session as it seeds your subconscious for the night. Do your ritual. Write your affirmation 9 times. Let this be slow, feeling rich. Imagine yourself living a full day in that reality. Going to sleep in that bed, waking up happy. Feel the gratitude as if it's already yours, right from that place of fulfillment. Your final release phrase is, "It is done. I hand this over to my subconscious and to the universe. Thank you." Then go to sleep. Do not skip days. If you miss a full day, the consensus is to start the 21-day cycle over. This isn't punishment. It's about maintaining the unbroken neural command. Trust the process. Do not look for evidence in the 3D world every hour. Live your life. Take inspired action if it feels good, but from a place of knowing it's already yours, not from panic. My results after fixing these mistakes were nothing short of miraculous to me. After the failed first attempt, I felt hopeless. But with this corrected method, focusing on a $5,000 project, I committed. I did the emotional work, the specific wording, the consistent timing, the vivid visualization, and the radical letting go. On day 7 of this new cycle, I got an email. It was from a brand I admired but had never approached. They said they'd seen a piece of my work from months ago and wondered if I was available for a project. My rate at the time was half of that. But feeling the confidence from my daily affirmations, I quoted my new rate of $5,000, expecting negotiation. They replied within an hour, "Perfect. Let's get started." I literally had to sit down. The amount was exact. The work was exactly the kind I'd visualized, creative, collaborative, inspiring. It was the proof I needed. This wasn't a fluke. It was a formula of energy, focus, and faith. If it could work for me, a former skeptic who was scribbling affirmations while feeling broke, it can absolutely work for you. So let's recap those 5 critical mistakes. 1. Writing from a place of desperation. not a felt sense of already having it. Fix it with a pre-writing gratitude and memory ritual. 2. Using vague or negative wording. Fix it by getting hyper-specific and framing everything in the positive, present tense. Skipping days or being inconsistent. Fix it by setting sacred, non-negotiable times and committing to a perfect 21-day streak. 4. Writing mechanically. Fix it by turning every repetition into a full sensory visualization session. 5. Obsessing and not letting go. Fix it with a release phrase and practicing radical trust after each session. If the 369 method hasn't worked for you, I can almost promise you were tripping up on at least one of these. Probably more than one. The beautiful news is, now you know. You have the blueprint. So here is my call to action for you. I want you to start fresh. Today, get a notebook. Identify one clear, specific desire. Craft your perfect affirmation. And commit to 21 days of doing it this way, the right way, not the robotic, desperate way, but the conscious, feeling, trusting way. I want you to experience the shift that I did. In the comments below, tell me which of these 5 mistakes resonates the most with you. Were you, like me, writing from a place of lack? Were you being too vague? Let's support each other. If this video helped you see what was missing, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And subscribe if you want more of this honest breakdown content on making manifestation work in real life. Remember, you are not powerless. You are a creator. The 369 method is just a tool, and now you know how to use it properly. You've got this. I believe in you. Ooh. Now go and write your new reality into being. I'll see you in the next one.